All right, neighborhood church, it's Thursday. Take heart. We're actually going to jump a few verses into chapter 15, verse 26 through chapter 16, verse 15. I want to save those verses before that for tomorrow for Good Friday. And so, like always, if you need to pause the video, do that now or at some point today. Make sure you're in John chapter 15, 26 to 16, 15. And I really want us to focus on considering the Holy Spirit's role in our life as a guide. You know, Jesus said that it was good that he went away so that he could send us the Spirit. And the Spirit helps us in so many ways. He convicts us of sin. He convicts us of righteousness. He's our advocate. He's our helper. He's an ever-present help in troubled times. But he's also our guide. Jesus says this in 16 verse 12, I have much more to say to you, more than you can now bear. But when he, the Spirit of the truth, comes, he will guide you into all truth. He will not speak on his own. He will speak only what he hears, and he will tell you what is to come. He will glorify me, because it is from me that he will receive what he will make known to you. Jesus has given us an incredible gift in his Spirit. And I don't know what kind of word picture comes to your mind when you think of a guide, but my wife and I have had the unique experience of enduring a house fire. And what I remember about the fire and the 2-week period after it specifically is just how numb my mind felt. We were overwhelmed. We'd never experienced a fire before. We didn't know how insurance worked. The day of, so many people showed up to help us. Our stuff went everywhere. We lived in a hotel for a week, and I remember your mind being numb because you had to think about everything. Like, I didn't know where my toothbrush was, and I didn't know how to keep track of all the receipts and what we could buy and what we needed to wait for. And I remember we were blessed with a really good insurance adjuster. We actually are one of the fortunate ones that had a fantastic experience with insurance. And I remember him just easing our minds and saying, listen, you don't need to know how the whole process is going to work. If you've got any questions, just let me know, and here, do this. And then when something else would come up, he'd say, no, just do this. Or when we were unsure if we could make a purchase or how that worked, he goes, no, just do this. And he walked us through that process for not just that initial meeting with him and not the weeks to come, but even months to come. He was always available to us. And maybe you find yourself in sort of a similar overwhelmed experience. You continue to watch the news and you continue to become overwhelmed. COVID continues to be all around us. In our county, the sickness and it just continues to go up. Deaths are around us. And I don't know if you're just feeling overwhelmed and maybe your mind is numb. Maybe you're just numb to the pain and you're just sick of it already and you're annoyed. But I want you to remind you of this. Jesus has given you a guide. And the Holy Spirit reveals to you Jesus' thoughts, Jesus' attitudes, Jesus' actions. And so let the Spirit guide you through this process. Don't just Netflix binge your way through this. Don't just hunker down and wait for this to all be over. Take advantage of the Spirit's role to make known to you what Jesus wants you to know today. Don't worry about how this is going to end. Don't worry about the future. If you're overwhelmed with provision, where's tomorrow going to come from, and the next day and the next day? Don't worry about that. Let the Spirit guide you on how to think today, how to respond today, what attitude to embrace today. It's a beautiful gift that Jesus has given us. And remember, he tells us these things so that in him we may have peace. Because in this world we will have trouble, but we can take heart because he's overcome the world.